It's two shows in one, the Superhero Comic-Con and Car Show, August 4th through the 7th in San Antonio at the Freeman Expo Hall, presented by Thomas J. Henry. It's a Comic-Con with stars like Ewan McGregor, Haley Atwell, Simu Liu, Giancarlo Esposito, wrestling superstar Hulk Hogan, Arrow's Stephen Amell, Dave Bautista, and many more. Plus a massive Hollywood car show with 45 awesome cars like Batmobiles and Transformers Optimus Prime. Tickets available at pmxevents.com.
Pickle, let's go to the hotline, and let's welcome in the head coach of the 5-0 Brookshire Royal Falcons. We're joined by Coach Theadis Reagins. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good this morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How are things in beautiful Waller County?
Everything is well right now. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll say so. You guys are off to a 5-0 start. It's the most wins for this Brookshire Royal program since 2010. I'm interested in what the difference is. This is your second year there. You have kind of a nice step in the right direction the first year, but this particular group of kids, what is it about them that has them rolling right now?
I think we actually started the process right after the season. We ended the season last year 4-6, and we lost 3 games by a total of 10 points. So we kind of start focusing on the small things in the off season. Start sweating the small stuff and understood that we need to make those 10-point difference up in the offseason, and they committed to that process in the offseason.
Well, and speaking of which, this past week, you guys pulled out, you guys were 4-0 coming off of an open date, and then you go and you beat Sealy 13-10. And that, to me, as an outsider, feels like an enormous step for this Brookshire Royal program. Am I mistaken, or is that the same feeling you guys are having within the program, that what you guys were able to do on Friday night against Sealy, a program that at this point needs no introduction, that represents a huge step for your program?
I think it was a statement game for us. Again, that's one of the games we kind of circled on our calendar starting in December and January, and our season stated that we need to make sure we get that game. And we made to make sure we took care of things to make sure we got it. Again, sweating the small stuff. The offseason was really huge for us. We had a boot camp where all the seniors kind of bought in, their leadership kind of showed up. So, of course, that was a huge statement game for us, and those guys were excited to play that game.
I want to ask you a little bit about one of the things that I think is obvious, is that it seems to me that your defense has really taken a nice step forward this year, and that suddenly you guys are a defensive force to be reckoned with. I know you're a defensive guy. What is it on the defense that has changed or that has matured that has you guys rolling on the defensive side?
I think it's a combination of things. First, we got a great defensive coordinator in Coach Cryer. And, of course, he has a son, Justin Cryer, who's a Northwestern commit as our middle linebacker. We have 4 great defensive linemen, I think, with some senior leadership in Jeremiah Robinson. And I think that defensive front is just a huge thing for us. And, again, Coach Cryer, and this is a great group of defensive guys, to be honest with you.
Talking with Theadis Reagins, the head coach of the Brookshire Royal Falcons here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at #TFToday. Coach, the other thing that's remarkable to me is I look up and down your roster, I look up and down your depth chart, and you mentioned you got some really important seniors on the defensive side, and that's true, and this is a good senior class. But you got a lot of youngins out there. You got a lot of youngsters, a lot of underclassmen out there. Have the young guys surprised you so far this season?
I think they have. Again, if you look at our roster, we only have 6 or 7 seniors on that group. And those young guys have stepped up. We got a young quarterback and Ashton Robinson, who's a sophomore, who's playing really well for us. Zakai Anderson, a sophomore running back, who's playing really well for us. So we do have our offensive line is 5 underclassmen as well. So, and 3 of the 4 defensive linemen are young guys, underclassmen. So we do have a lot of great young guys that stepping up for us.
You mentioned Ashton Robinson. I kind of want to zero in on him. This is a guy. It's not easy to be a quarterback in any situation. But taking over this program, taking over this offense as a sophomore, and he's been very sharp. 11 touchdowns to just 4 interceptions. He's already thrown for more than 1,000 yards. He's run for another 184 yards. The numbers are impressive. What is it about Ashton Robinson, from your perspective as a guy who sees him every day in practice? What is it about him that sets him apart?
He's a tough kid. He has a lot of mental toughness. Our offensive coordinator, Coach Phil Wilson, is doing a great job with him, actually. So this kid come to school, come to work and practice every day, and just trying to look to get better every day. And again, it's a testament to his hard work and a testament to the offensive coordinator who's installed a great offense for him.
Talking with Theadis Reagins, the head coach of the Brookshire Royal here in Texas football today. Get involved in the conversation, hashtag TF Today. All right, Coach, another kind of interesting thing about your squad is I go back to week 2, and maybe this flew under people's radar, but the first time I really started sitting up and paying attention to the Falcons was in week 2 when you guys went on the road and you beat Houston Fur. That's a good Fur team. You handed them what is still their only loss of the year. At the time, did that feel like something had changed, that some sort of switch had flipped, and that maybe things were gonna be different this year?
I think on the outside, people start seeing us and start believing in us. But again, I think we always had that belief that we knew that we was gonna come in and make a great run this year. To be honest with you.
You are in your second year there at Royal. You're a guy who came over from as a defensive backs coach at Galena Park North Shore. You were at Lamar before that. You've got an illustrious resume. Everyone tells you that that you are just a product of all the coaches that you've coached with and things like that. And you've gotten to coach with some outstanding ones, obviously, whether you're talking about Tom Nolan there at Lamar or John Kay there at North Shore. What did you take from those guys that you're kind of putting into your coaching style there at Royal?
Okay, as I reflect, again, I work with Coach Nolan, who's won over 300 games in Texas high school football. I've won 5 district championships with him. Then I go over to North Shore. We stayed there 3 years with Coach K, and I won 2 state championships out of 3 years I was there with them. And both those guys is just great coaches, and they both have different dynamics from both sides of them. But I just took the small thing from both of those programs. Coach K is very, very systematic. He has a process. He has a blueprint, and year after year, his program has been successful without guys going to D1 and guys coming out of that program. And I think both of those guys just brought some good things to their program. And I kind of actually put some of those things in my toolbox.
Okay, and you guys, I mentioned you guys are 5-0. This is a program that hasn't had a winning season since 2010. Already off to this 5-0 season. I'm excited about it. Is there a sense, like, what is the vibe like in the locker room right now? Is there a buzz right now that you haven't felt there in a minute?
It is, absolutely. Again, since 2010, it's not been a winning season. And again, those guys in our season said, Coach, we want to make sure that we have a winning season going out this year as those seniors. And they've actually stepped up and doing the part. They're leading on the field and off the field. So, again, it's a testament to those seniors that's saying, Coach, we do not want to go out as losers as we lose a record this year. So those seniors are stepping up and kind of leading this locker room. And there's a great buzz, a great energy, great focus. So we're excited about the senior leadership on this class this year.
Well, you guys get the big win against Sealy, and the good news is that things just get way easier from here. 7 o'clock Friday night. You guys are traveling to Belleville to take on a state-ranked Bramos team, an unbeaten squad. And I know you're in the film room. I know you're in the lab coming up with a game plan. I don't want to ask you to tell everybody your secrets, but when you take a look at what you guys are going to be up against on Friday night, what do you see?
I think it'd be a great challenge for us. Belleville, again, one of the state-ranked teams in 4A. They got a great coach, Coach Grady Rowe, a great program. It's been successful as well. I think it'll be a challenge for us. I think our defensive line is up for the challenge, and our defense is up for the challenge. I think they got a great offense. So I think it'll be a great opportunity to showcase what we have on our defense.
You've been up to every challenge so far, and off to a 5-0 start at the Brookshire Royal Falcons and their head coach, Theadis Reagins. Coach, we sure appreciate your time. Congratulations again on the fantastic start, and go get them on Friday night.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
There he goes. Theadis Reagins, head coach, Brookshire Royal Falcons. Like when I say, like, and like when we talked about how this is their first, like, they haven't had a winning season since 2010. Okay, guys, like when I'm talking about, like, I'm not talking about 4-6. Like, they were 4-6 last year. But you look over the past decade, and it's a lot of 1-9s, 2-8. I mean, they have been down and down bad. But Coach Reagins has come in, and last year was a nice step, 4-6. And you mentioned it, like they were in a lot of close games. They're probably, I would need to look it up, but they're probably like 14 points away from being 7-3 or something like that.
And learning how to win those games is not an easy task.
And I'm telling you, they're for real. And look, they're going to be underdogs against Belleville.
Yes.
A lot of teams are going to be underdogs against Belleville. But that win over Sealy's massive.
Yes.
Huge. And I think it makes them at least, at worst, the second best team in that district.
Oh yeah, because we were sitting there. You and I were sitting there on the desk at Valley on Friday night, and we looked up that score and we went, "Holy cow, they did it!" Like, that's a huge win. Like, we were visibly surprised.
Yeah, it was remarkable win, and they're doing big things down there. There at Brookshire Royal, really changing the narrative there with the Falcons. So we appreciate Coach Theadis Reagins joining us.